recording and then all right, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar titled this morning, What's Really Going On with My Top ACT Accounts? We are excited that you're here and joining us. My name is Cindy Kuhl, and with me is Joyce Nichols. And if you've been on our webinars before, you know we've been doing software training and consulting for over 25 years. And it's our pleasure today just to show you another feature in ACT using the company's feature to just help you manage your larger accounts. Since this is about a 20-minute video webinar, Joyce will be going through the information rather quickly. But remember, you'll receive a link to the video in the next couple of days so you can watch it over and over again and share it with your colleagues. So the information we're sharing with you this morning, again, using this feature called Companies within ACT, it's a feature we found a lot of people have not been using or maybe haven't quite understood exactly what this can do for them. So we're going to go through and show you, why you would want to use the Companies feature within ACT. We're going to show you how to create companies, how to link existing contacts and new contacts to companies. We're also going to talk about a little program called the Company Wizard that will help you if you have a lot of contacts and you want to use this company feature, how you can get this all set up within ACT really pretty efficiently without a lot of manual work that Joyce is going to show you in just a few moments. And also talk about if you've been using the secondary contacts within ACT, how you can take those secondary contacts and promote those into a main primary contact and link those to companies and just kind of really help organize your database a little bit more efficiently. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm going to go ahead and let Joyce take it away. Joyce, I don't know if you're on mute there or not, but if you are.
Yes, I was on mute. Thank you.
There we go. All righty, here we go.
All right. All right. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us again, as Cindy said. First thing I'd like to do is just to talk about company records and the advantages of using company records and just introduce you to those. We all know what contact is. We are used to working with the contact records. But the company record allows you to manage your contact relationships based on what the company your contacts work for. And this is particularly useful if you have multiple contacts in your database who work for the same company. When you create a company record and add contacts to it, it allows you to quickly access those contacts who work at the company, as well as any histories, notes, activities, and opportunities for those people. So everything is going to be rolled up underneath the company record. So I'm going to go to the list view, and you'll notice that I have several company names that are hyperlinked. That indicates there are company records for those contacts. So you're used to being in the contact record, but let's take a look at the companies portion of ACT. So I'm over here on the left-hand side of the navigation pane, and I'm going to click on companies. So this is a different view. Companies have a detailed view, just like the contacts do, and they also have a list view. So in this database, I have 27 companies with 11 divisions. So let's take a look at Ace Pet Store franchises. These are the the contacts that work under Ace Pet Store franchises. So again, if I'm over in the contacts, I can work at an individual contact level for the different contacts for Ace Pet Store franchises. But if I want to see what's going on as a company, I can easily click the hyperlink and go over to the company record. So here you'll see all of the contacts are listed, all of the activities, the opportunities, the histories, and other things for Ace Pet Store franchises are listed together. So I can get a company-centric picture of what's going on with the company as opposed to just what's going on with the individual contacts. In the reports section, again, I'm over in the navigation pane. In the reports section, you'll see that there's also different company reports that I can use to manage at a report level of my companies as well. But going back to the companies, I can have companies, but I can also have individual divisions within a company. So let's take a look at CH Holding. I'm going to expand. So CH Holding, that's the whole company, that's the holding company. But within CH Holding, I have two divisions, Gourmet Imports and CH Tech One. I can be as granular as splitting it into the accounting division, the administration division, and the sales division. So again, what's going on with my sales division? Again, there's my histories, my opportunities, and my activities. And again, if I click on the CH Tech One, all of the contacts within those different divisions are rolled up into one. If I'd like to create a lookup of these employees, I can very easily just click Create Lookup from Company. So now that you have an idea of what a company record can do, I'd like to show you the different ways that you can create a company record. I'm going to go ahead and look up all my contacts. There are basically three different ways to create company records. And again, I like the fact that ACT gives you options because we all work differently. I'm going to scroll down and I see that I have three contacts who work for Great Northern Company. So I want to take advantage of this company record feature that I'm learning. So I'm going to select the contacts, and then I'm going to click Lookup Selected. It's very easy to create a company from a contact record. And one of the things you'll find with working with companies, it's really easy to do. All I do is click on Contacts, Create Company from Contact. ACT automatically creates the company record, and all of the address and information on that contact record populates the company record. So very easy to do. Well, I have two other contacts who work at Great Northern Coffee, so I need to link those contacts to the company record. I'm going to navigate to the second contact. This button is the Link to Company button. All I do is click on the button. Automatically, ACT finds the name of the company. I choose OK. And now that contact is linked to the company. I'm going to go to the third contact for Great Northern Coffee. And I'm going to link that Tommy as well to the company record. So now I have all three contacts linked to my company record. And again, everything is rolled up into one. So that's a really easy way to create a company record. I think that's what most people do because most of our users, they create the contact first and then they create the company record from the contact. But again, there's another way to do it as well. If you choose in the company view, there is in the Big Easy button, you can easily create a brand new company in this manner. And then what you could do, you could fill out the appropriate information to create the company record, and then it's created. Once the company record is created, if this is the manner in which you choose to create your company, then you can click Companies, Create Contact from Company. So again, you can do it from the company or you can do it from the contact record. As I said earlier, I think most of our companies or contacts prefer to do it from the contact record. But again, there's just different options. Another way that you can create a company record is through the ACT preferences. And this you have to be a little bit careful of. If you go to Tools, Preferences, And Tools Preferences is where you go to make changes to the way that ACT works for you. I'm going to move over to the Admin tab. And you'll notice that you have a company section, and you can set company preferences. Before doing this, I strongly encourage you to create a backup of your database because you might get different results than you're expecting. But within ACT, you can choose a threshold. So create a new company when this many contacts have the same company name. So you might say if 2 contacts have the same company name, then I want ACT to automatically create a company record for me. And this will work with existing contacts as well. It's not just from this point on. It will go back in your existing contacts and create company records. So again, that's why I wanted to make sure that you do a backup. The problem, and it's not necessarily a problem, but just the issue that you need to be aware of, is fields that are linked. So let's say that you have Wells Fargo and Joyce works at the Minneapolis office and Cindy works at the San Diego office and Pam works at the Washington, D.C. office. So how does ACT handle those different addresses? So that's something that you kind of have to see how it's going to work. Again, if your contacts are at the same address, that will work real nicely for you. Let's talk about we'll talk about linked. I use that word addresses and linked. Let's talk about linking fields together. One of the things that you can set ACT to do is to link your contact fields with your company fields. I'm going to show you just real quickly what I'm talking about. Under Contacts, View Linked Fields. So when you design your database and you create company fields and you create the company contact fields, you can choose to link the fields together. So here's an example in this database, the fields that I have linked. So the company, the address fields are linked, as is the customer ID. So because those fields are linked, any changes that I make in these company fields will automatically update the contact field. So let's see how that works in practice. So let's say we're in Great Northern Coffee. I'm going to change the layout real quickly. And Great Northern Coffee, still in St. Paul, but they move to 34 Oak Drive. So when I save this contact, ACT will automatically update the addresses for any contact that's linked to this company. So if I choose yes, and I go to James Hill, you'll see that James Hill's address has been updated. Another example would be the customer ID. So I'm going to put in the customer ID. I'm going to save the company, and ACT will automatically populate the customer ID field on the contact record. So let's talk about maybe an issue that you might be aware of. You might want to make some changes. Again, using the analogy, the example that maybe these are at different addresses. Most of our companies will unlink these address fields because they want to choose, because people have different addresses. So most of our companies unlink these address fields. And if that's your desire, Cindy and I can show you how to do that. Customer ID field is a great example of why an example of when you would want to link a field, because all of these people would have the same customer ID. So again, it just depends on the contacts, the type of contacts that you have, whether you want these address fields linked or not. So I've shown you ways to create the company record. Now I want to show you how you can add a new contact to a company. Very easy to do. I'm just going to look up one of the contacts that are linked to Great Northern Coffee. I'm going to right click and select Duplicate Contact. I have a message that I need to answer. Do I want to duplicate data from primary fields Go from all of the fields. Well, the new employee is going to have a different title, a different email address, mobile phone. So I'm going to duplicate it just from the primary fields. I'm going to select OK. And now I can go ahead and add the information for that new employee at Great Northern Coffee. So very easy to create new employees and automatically add those to the existing company record. Let's just show you one thing that I think is really a great feature. I'm going to create a couple of histories for Joyce Smith. I'm just going to set something up very quickly. And hopefully you've customized your regarding for your different activity types. So I'll create a call history, and I'll create a meeting history. And I'll go ahead and save that. Tommy Morgan no longer works at Great Northern Coffee. So I want to unlink him from that company. But what happens to the histories? I don't want to lose the histories. I'll show you that when you unlink, those histories are still retained on the contact record. Excuse me, the company record. So remember, this is the link to company. It's also the unlink. So it's a toggle. So I'm going to click the button. I'm going to unlink. And I'd like to show you over in the companies that for the history, Tommy Morgan's histories are still there because we still want to refer, because those are contacts that we've had with Great Northern Coffee. So you can feel confident that you can unlink companies and know that those histories and opportunities are retained on that contact record. Many of you, the company record may be the first time, this is maybe the first time you've heard of a company record, and maybe you've been using secondary contacts. So I'm going to look up a secondary contact, a contact that has secondary contacts. So a secondary contact you can use just if you have a name, you just need a name or a number. This is I use this for an IT person. I don't have notes, I don't have meetings, to-dos, and calls with the IT person, but I need a telephone number and an email address to get a hold of that person. So these are contacts that I now want to make secondary contacts, that I want to make full-fledged contacts and link to Mercury Production Manager. I have a client that has over 700, it's a new customer that was not aware of companies, and they have over 700 secondary contacts. Very easily, I click on Julia, I choose Promote, choose OK, and now Julia is a contact, so I can make histories, and also it's automatically linked to the company record. Now, it's not really feasible if you have a lot of secondary contacts to do these one by one. So there's a real neat program. It's an add-on that sells for $49. It's called Promote Secondary Contacts, and that will promote the contacts, those secondary contacts for you automatically. There is also a program that we use, and it's called Company Wizard, and that's a utility that will go through your database and create those company records for you automatically. It's one that we use on a regular basis for client databases. So I hope that that has given you an overview of the company record features. So Cindy?
Great. Thanks, Joyce. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We wanted to give you just a quick overview, quick highlights of the company's feature. Hopefully you found that was something of value to you. And we value your time. I know your time is valuable, so we just give you quick little nuggets of information, and hopefully that's been helpful for you. If you have any questions about what Joyce has covered, please reach out to us. She has listed there, showed our email addresses, our website. You can reach out to us any way that we can help you. If you want to talk more about this company feature and how it will help you with your particular business, that's fine. Our next sessions, we're going to start promoting those here next month. But our next two sessions are going to be about the e-marketing within ACT. We're going to talk about on October 5th just the purpose of e-marketing. And if you have not gotten into e-marketing quite yet, I highly encourage you to look and watch for the registration for that, because we're going to talk about, I've got a guest speaker who's a marketing expert, and she's going to talk about e-marketing. And then on the 12th, we're actually going to be having, her name is Brittany Roberts, who is actually the e-marketing specialist at SwiftPage, and she's going to talk about and show you exactly how you can create those e-marketing pieces within ACT. And then we do have one more coming up in November. We'll be talking about ACT for Windows versus ACT for Web, and the fact that you can have ACT anywhere, on any device, on any computer. So again, we thank you so much for your time. We appreciate the fact that you find this interesting. If you can give us any feedback, any updates, any thoughts that you'd like us to cover for additional topics, we'd be happy to do that as well. But again, thank you for joining us this morning. Have a wonderful day, and let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you get your act together. Thank you.